your girl Brain Sinead, and today is my stop for the Color Pages book tour, and it's going to be for the Rema Chronicles, Realm of the Blue Mist, and this is going to be by Amy Kim Kibuishi. This is a new middle grade graphic novel. It's a new installment. This is the first installment where it's fantastical. It gives you enrichment filled with gods and goddesses and also some light romance within this graphic novel. And I absolutely fell in love with the characters, the world building, and I'm a stickler for stories that have gods and goddesses in it. So this graphic novel is supposed to be coming out today, March 1st, but I do believe that it must have gotten pushed back because I was doing a little bit of research and it's going to be coming out on April the 5th. But from what I know, it's supposed to be March 1st, but like I said, I think it was pushed back to April the 5th. But you can also just go ahead and pre-order this anyway if you are, if you're interested in it. But in this book, we're following a girl. Her name is Tabitha. And for short, it's Tabby. And she is pretty much trying to still cope with the fact that her father is no longer with her. He was murdered, and she witnessed it by seeing a ghost that her dad was obsessing over. And she found him at this tree, and it's like a biohazard tree that she still goes to from time to time, or pretty much all the time whenever she has whenever she has free time, because that's where she feels closest to her father. So Tabitha, she's still trying to figure out who this ghost was, why was her father so obsessed with it. And one day she sees this boy just come out of nowhere, out of the sky, like he was literally flying, and then he just disappeared. But then after she sees that he disappears and tries to see what had happened, how he disappeared, she found this ring and she kept it. And then, after having that day of like, what just happened, she ends up going home, and her mother expresses that she had found somebody that she wants to marry and that she felt like it's time to move on. Now, Tabitha, she doesn't want to move on. She still wants to figure out what happened to her father, and she really feels like her mother just does not care. So as her mother is going off, out for a date and whatnot, Tabby ends up leaving her home, trying to figure out what is going on. Where did this boy go? How did he just randomly just disappear out within thin air? Next thing you know, she sees him again. And she goes into the portal with him, and he's not knowing that she's following him. And next thing you know, they meet each other for the very first time, and they introduce themselves. She says Tabitha or Tabby Simon, and he introduces himself as Philip. And mind you, he has like blue eyes with like grayish hair or white hair, and she likes him like already, like just like that. Like she has like, I don't know what it is, but I feel like she sensed like, man, he's beautiful, right? And he's trying to figure out how to get her back to Earth, but things go wrong. And so she's in the world of Rema. Rema is this beautiful world where it's filled with tons of people, but they all fly. Like they can walk and stuff, but they all fly. And Tabby is just a surprise and just like wowed and just oh my gosh, this is a whole new world. And so she's pretty much trying to figure out how to get home, and and Philip is trying to help her figure out a way to get home. So she is still venturing around this world of Rima, and Philip starts telling her about the thing of Rima and the gods and goddesses, and that the people in this world do not like Geists because they feel like they're destructive and they bring just negative things. Just nothing good comes from Geists. And so that's what they really do, is to pretty much kill Geists and destroy Geists whenever one goes into their city. But then Philip also tells her that he is a Geist, but he's a keeper as well of the realm and everything, keeps everything in order. He's pretty much trying to have a low profile of people realizing that he is a Geist. And then Rima starts to see a lot of these people, and then she doesn't really understand why they don't like Geists, because Philip is such a great person. Why would they want him to be killed? Why would, so they end up trying to figure out, she's trying to figure out more about Geists and the world that Philip lives in, while Philip is trying to really figure out how to get her home. And then come to find out there's more mischief within this book, where she meets another Geist, but who is pretty much trying to bring havoc to the city, and some buildings and some sacred temples are destroyed. And as Tabby sees herself, everybody's reactions, like Geists are demons, they don't deserve to live, just going on and on about how Geists are bad for their city. And you know, I feel like for Tabby, she has some sympathy and empathy for Philip, because she doesn't know how he lives with this, you know, throughout his regular day for the rest of his life. And he just says he's used to it, and he tries, and you know, he tries to ignore it, let it go in one ear and out the other. But then we start to know that Philip has like a soft spot for Tabby, but then Philip is trying to not have so much, not have a lot of connection with her, because he knows that she's going to end up leaving. So they reach this portal, but the portal didn't work. And, you know, that's when Philip tried to use all his magic and energy to send her home, but it doesn't happen. And that's when they meet another Geist, like I said previously. And that's when the priestess comes into play, and she just, I could tell I will not like the priestess Sita. I just do not like her. Her attitude just makes me upset. And they're trying to figure out why the Geists came to their city, how come how the Geists had planted these bombs and created a lot of and have destroyed most of their sacred temples and buildings and whatnot. So they end up doing that, and then come to find out, the priestess ends up knowing that, or senses, or technically she's a priestess, so she knows that Tabby is an earthling and that she's from Earth. But she did give Tabby a chance to pretty much tell the truth. But, you know, as Tabby's in this new world, she's trying to protect herself. She doesn't know who these people are, what they will do to her. So she says that she's from this different world. She's from this world, from a different city called Faust. And the priestess already knew that she was lying, but she just wanted to see if she was going to tell the truth. But then Philip's godfather comes into the picture. And when you see Philip's godfather in this, you look at him like, how is he your godfather? He looks like he's like 12 years old. And then apparently Philip's godfather, he in his generation, they age differently. It takes him a long time to age. So that's why he looks so young compared to Philip. And so Philip's godfather comes into play and saves Tabby from the priestess, from a whole new interrogation of why Tabby is here and how does she get to Rima in the first place. So Philip was even, you know, once Philip's godfather saved Tabby, then Tabby and Philip have this conversation, and Philip gives her a hug and said that she was worried about her, and he was just very, very concerned. And then so they meet up with someone else who could possibly build to manually build a portal so that she can go home. But that is not the case. No one is able to build a portal at this time, especially since what happened earlier in the city of Rima and the Geists that came into the city and caused havoc. So now Tabby is pretty much stuck in this world of Rima, and she's trying to figure out why is this possible. So, you know, Philip, I think he was a little like happy that she was sort of stranded, but then sad for her at the same time because she wouldn't be going home. But also I think Tabby was also happy that she didn't get to go home right away, because she still wants to know about this ghost and why the ghost killed her father. And so as she's stranded in Rima and, you know, pretty much has to get used to the new life that she'll be living in the meantime, the ghost that killed her father comes in the picture at the very end of this graphic novel. And and the ghost was pretty much telling her, like, you can't talk. You can like use your mind to talk to me, because the gods and goddesses are watching and listening. And you know, Tabby is still trying to figure out this whole this mysterious ghost and why she killed her. You know, the ghost killed her father. And you know, the ghost was pretty much, you know, as you are used to this world, and when you are ready, I will let you know. But until that time, I will be watching. So that's where the graphic novel ends. So I was very, very curious to see, like, okay, the ghost, we see this ghost sort of in the first part of the graphic novel into the very end. So now I definitely need to see or to read the next graphic novel, like right now, because I want to know what happens. I want to know why the ghost came to her father. But then Tabby was also pretty much was told by the ghost that her father was more intrigued about this world and wanted to leave her mom and herself behind. And I could just tell, this is reading the graphic novel, that Tabby obviously didn't know her father like she did, because Tabby really loved her father, but at the same time, her father really didn't care about her mother or herself. And the ghost did say that. And I think Tabby was just like, what? Like, I've been wanting to figure out his death for the longest, and then to come to find out, he was trying to leave us to go to this new world. But even the ghost said that she didn't, like, that the ghost said that they did, you know, the ghost didn't mean to kill Tabby's father. He was, you know, the energy that took for him to get to Rima, it killed him. But then that didn't happen for Tabby. Tabby didn't disintegrate or didn't die in the process of, in the portal of going to this new world. And I think the ghost was very intrigued and was wondering how that was so, how that was possible. And that's also how we leave off at the end of this graphic novel. But overall, I gave this book a 4 out of 5 stars. This was really great. Like, I love the world building. I love the characters. I love how there's different people, different gods and goddesses for different elements in this world. And also, I just love the cover. It's beautiful, and I'm definitely looking forward to reading the next one. But that is it. That is my little book review for this graphic novel. Like I said, this is the first installment of this graphic novel, and it is also a middle grade as well, which I just found that very fascinating. But like I said, you definitely can pre-order it, and I hope that you read it and see for yourself how great this world is. But once again, thank you so much for watching, and I hope everyone has a great day and stay safe. See ya.